Hello and welcome to the Undateable Me podcast. I am your host, the undateable Jimmy Lillard, the sock snob, and this is our weekly show that deals with the struggles of relationships and dating. But we don't just talk about the problem. No, ma'am. We talk about solutions around here, and we do it in a very entertaining way. Why is it entertaining? What makes us so entertaining, Holly?
I got my legs out today.
Ooh, she got her legs out too, showing off her tattoos that Jordan didn't want nobody to see. All right,
Which my knees. Under here.
show them, girl, show them. So, all right, so we're gonna jump right in because that was none other than Holly the Beamer, of course. So, but we're gonna jump right in with a question for you guys for this week, and it's a very simple question, but an important one. Are you tired of being broke? All right, let's go.
I see you hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. When we was together, how the did you had me gone? Now I'm by myself, and it feels good to be alone. Come on. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. I kinda like myself. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself.
Oh. All right, listen. Got a little singing intro. Well, Holly,
Back again.
we are back again, yet another week, and as we talk about improving ourselves, so if you have not been following along, we've been working through the book Speak Life and Live Full, written by who, Holly? Who wrote this book, Holly?
Jimmy Lee
We
Lord,
did. Okay.
Helena Richardson.
There we go. So, but we've been working through this workbook. It's like a guided journal that is helping us improve ourselves in 12 different areas of our life. And we've been touching on one of those areas each week, basically. And this week, talking about financial stability. You know, we've all been broke at some point, you know.
Yes.
You get tired of being broke. It ain't fun when you see people doing stuff that you can't do. you on the outside looking in, touching the window and shit. So
Wish I had that.
you know, I think it's just one of those things. And, you know, we talk about trying to get ourselves together first before we go entering into a relationship. Well, that's an area. Now, I'm not saying wait until you have all your ducks in a row before you enter in a relationship. That's not what I'm saying at all, right?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, you would never get into a relationship.
Yeah.
You will always find that one more thing. Oh, well, I've been waiting to get a better car. I've been waiting to, you know, until I own my own house. You know, I don't want to go into a relationship while I'm renting. And the bar will just keep moving, right?
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm saying. But we want to try and improve ourselves as best we can before you bring baggage into a relationship that you shouldn't bring, you know. So we're going to be talking about that, you know. Sometimes people make bad financial decisions. Back when we started back up after we wrote the book, after we took our time off to write the book, we told the story about little Kevin. And so I'll bring that up again just in case people have forgotten. So he's not a real person. We just made him up. But we were talking about how things in your past are sometimes, you know, getting to the bottom when we start digging deep and doing the work. We sometimes discover those things in our past that were the root cause of some of the behaviors we have today.
Right.
Right. So we talked about little Kevin, who was like 12, 13 years old back in 1990, 91-ish. And he did well in school, and he went home, showed his mother's report card. And though she had been struggling, she said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get those Jordans you've been asking about. So it's a little bit of a sacrifice, but we're going to get them. He tells all his friends at school that that's what's going to happen. And, you know, they go that weekend. And unfortunately, after him trying on the shoes, they look good on his feet. He had him throw his old shoes in the trash, you know. And then his mother's credit card declined. Not one, but 2 credit cards declined. So we're talking about that embarrassment of being in the store, you feeling sorry for your mother who's embarrassed, and then your own embarrassment. Then you got to ask the employee to dig your shoes back out the trash. And unfortunately, you know, they had lunch, they had ketchup and all kind of shit on their shoes now. So, and then going back to school where you've already told all of your friends that you're getting these shoes, and now you don't, and now they're laughing at you, and all the things. And how that one situation, that one thing that didn't seem necessarily traumatic at the time, but it made a lasting impression on little Kevin. And now that he's big Kevin, he is, you know, there's still decisions that he makes based on that situation, you know, him not wanting to be embarrassed because of financial reasons, him, you know, passing even some of that stuff on to his children, and
It's a
all the
repeated cycle.
things that end up, you know, stemming from that one situation that happened years ago. Right? Him overspending to make sure he's presenting the best designer look to the world and all of that, you know? So things will follow you through life. So that's what we're talking about today. So it's all about financial stability. So, Holly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you ever been broke?
Broke is temporary. Poor is mental.
Oh, okay. Have you been poor or... But have you
Answer
ever
that
been...
question. Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So...
Broke right goddamn now. Yeah.
But you know what? But you have things, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You have a
Shit's
lot of
paid for,
responsibilities and all of that,
Yeah.
right? So you might not be balling, but I get what you're saying, though. But you can recall though times where things were a little bit rough, though. You know. And,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, in those times, were you ever in relationships while you were in that state?
Shit, them was my brokest of times. Okay, being in a
And-
relationship. Shit.
Very good. And then my next question for you is, do you think that had any impact on the actual relationship?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then my next question, don't you love these interviews? What type of impact do you think it had on your relationships? I mean, it doesn't have to be specific, but I mean, just in general.
You know what? It not to even be funny, but it just reminds you. Well, it reminded me of constantly seeing that anyway growing up. You know, living check to check or living pack to pack. You know, messing with them D boys or whatever. You gotta scrounge and scrape or whatever. And, and when you have kids, you just don't want to live like that no
Yeah.
more. You know, you want better, so you do better. And you can't get better by being with somebody who don't have that same mentality as you. Because most of the
You've
time,
always had a go-getter attitude. So,
yeah, because most of the time I always worked.
Yeah, I remember we used to always say, "Baby, if one thing about Holly, she gonna find a job. Holly will be, you know, at one place or whatever. And if it didn't work out, you blink, Holly had a new job.
Yeah.
So,
Miss Keep a Hustle.
right there you go. So yeah, so I would imagine that could be a strain on a relationship, because also when you have financial issues in a relationship, you know, that I mean, it just adds to all the other things because there's
Yeah.
always a potential for issues in a relationship. And it sucks when money ends up being yet another issue in
right.
a relationship, right?
Yeah.
So, and depending on, you know, how things are set up, you know, or what the issue is, you know, maybe if that person is not working or something, whoever, and you're coming in, you're contributing to all the bills or whatever. You look at that other person like,
Right.
So-
when that person can contribute
Yeah.
or can be working and they just decide not to,
yeah,
or
yeah. I'm not
they
talking
want-
about
yeah.
they're not working because you know they have a slip disc in their back or something. I'm
Right.
talking about, you know, they can work,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and choose not to, or just don't have that ambition and drive, or they're waiting on somebody to take care of them.
But 9 times out of 10, don't be working and making no money and still fucking other bitches.
Ooh.
Like, how you broke and cheating?
So you mean, like back in season 1, we talked about a scenario where you taking your dumb ass to work. He's driving your car and picking you back up, and you finding panties and all sorts of stuff in the car. And sometimes, you know, I think women sometimes do that and not that it's just women, but I think some of them do that on purpose where, you know, like, see if she'll find this or whatever.
I thought the whole purse one time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And did the purse have this person's ID in it?
Yes.
With their address?
Yes.
Did you ride down there.com?
No, I said,
okay.
whose stuff is this? Oh, this my friend stuff. Like, you just having a good time while I'm at work, huh?
Right.
So, yes.
Not a whole purse.
It was a whole purse. I tried to throw it away. He wrestled me down for that purse. He wrestled me down.
That's because he wanted to see her again, you know. So.
Baby.
But yeah, so I would imagine there would be some strain in a relationship. Now, I have in the past, mine was more so what I was talking about earlier, where you fall into this trap of not thinking you're where you want to be
Okay.
financially.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you know what? One side this or one side that or one side, buy this property or whatever. Then I think I'll be, I think I'll have something to offer in a relationship or something like that. I have never, and I've talked about this in the past, and it's definitely the case, these days. I've never been interested in anybody for their money. I was lucky enough or blessed enough or whatever to have had my own.
You've had it.
Whatever, you know what I
Right.
mean? So I never needed anybody for that. I need the other things, and for me, that made it that took one thing off the table that I didn't have to have as a criteria. Oh, he needs to make 6 figures, or he needs to this, or whatever. You know what I mean? I never had that, at least. Now, I was still contending with the motherfucker need all his teeth, and I'm worried about if I go to sleep, do I have to worry about you stealing out of my medicine cabinet or something? I don't know.
You ever had that?
No,
Oh,
I haven't.
okay.
I'm just joking. But when you live where I live, it may sometimes feel like dumpster diving when you're dating and all of that. So,
Right.
So yeah, but so that's been more of my issue with where I should say finances in a relationship is more so me not feeling like I've had enough to whatever. And of course, I'm sitting here like, there's people out here broke as hell. Just in love,
I don't want that type of love. Don't ever find me, ever.
Right. So
It don't even get moist if we having financial problems.
here we go with the
Like,
moist word
oh my
again.
God. Like, no, we
So-
broke. For real, for real.
We broke. Yeah, it's not gonna get moist.
Like, we not waiting for the next payday or nothing. Like, we just broke.
Yeah. So, well, that brings us, I guess, if we dive into the book a little bit, when it comes down to financial stability, the affirmation that we put in this book was more about how money, or we'll say abundance, because that's the word we used in the book, how it flows to you. So the affirmation was, abundance flows to me freely and continually. In fact, I want to, and we talk about this a little bit further in the book, I have always wanted not only for abundance and or money or whatever to flow to me, I want it to flow through me. Like, I want to help
Right.
other people, you know what I mean? Because I've never wanted to just do it alone, you know. I want to bring somebody up with me as I come up. So, and I want people to, you know, not talk about, you know, not have the issue I had where you're constantly doing the next thing, but I want people to be more like where I was, where money was not something that was on the list as an inhibitor of you finding true love. Because there are so many people, you sit around and talk about, you know, God ain't blessed me with no man. And you be like, I sent you a plumber, I sent you a bus driver, I sent you this, but you had this idea in your head of what you thought he should be making or whatever.
Who he should be, the status, all of that. Yeah.
And that damn plumber would have probably made
pipe.
you, well, aside from laying that pipe, probably would have made you so happy in so many other ways or whatever, right? So I want that to be taken off of the table as an issue. That's what would be nice.
Yeah.
You know? So, now you said you would, you know, you don't want that type of relationship again. Do you, and you know, you're in your current situation, in your marriage, do you still have goals and visions that you and your husband discuss with each other as far as moving up to that next level or doing more? Or
Yeah, all the time. And I have to stop myself because I think I hinder us, because I be in them stores and we be like, we finna save. Then next thing you know, I'll look up, I'm like, yeah, let's go here. Then we on the trip for what we doing, you know what I mean? But we enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we gonna get it back.
I think there's always going to be, or needs to be, a healthy balance between, because, you know, there are some people who are like, hey, tomorrow ain't promised, you gotta live for today and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bitch, but rent is due on the 1st, you know. So,
the lights is off tonight.
So, you know, I think there has to be a healthy balance that you have to strike between living in the moment and enjoying life and all that you've worked hard for, and putting aside and securing, you know, your future as well, and your future goals and visions. So,
Discipline. So I think that's what I'm learning right now in my situation.
You think you're doing a good job of learning, or you're not a good student of this? So
I have not been to TJ Maxx. I have not been to Sephora, Ulta. I have not been to, and those are just like the little stuff. But yeah, I think I'm okay. I
have found that over the years, I've had all the things. You know what I mean? I've done the trips, and I don't need as much anymore, you know? So I don't have to have an $800 coat. A $200 coat is just fine, maybe less, maybe. Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Not an 8, but a 2.
Right. Look, I took it down. But no, I don't have to have all the things anymore. I'm content with a lot less than I used to be. So, and then, you know, just being future minded, of course, you know, as I get older, I have to think about things like, you know, retirement or whatever. For me, it's much closer than it is for you. Well, hell, I'm already retired, but you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, that later life is what I'm really talking about in this case. I
would definitely think about that. My Roth is in order.
There we
go. That is very important.
Yeah. Hey, I love it. So, so let's jump in and start to talk again. Like I said, so our affirmation here that sort of guides this chapter once again is that abundance flows to me freely and continually. So, you kind of want to make sure that money is like a river in some sense, and rivers flow until it gets blocked, right?
Right.
You know, we see it with, if you've ever seen a real life beaver, we live in Wisconsin, so we've seen beavers build a dam and literally can stop a river, right? So how do you clear those blockages so that, you know, money, abundance, all of those benefits sort of flow through you or whatever. So as usual, we have some affirmations in here, a list of them for you to kind of pick out. But we start off by saying, I am worthy of financial abundance and security. It's sad, but sometimes we actually literally have to say that because there's some people who don't think they are deserving of more, or that, you know, this is the best that I'm going to get.
Yeah.
You know, so some people are content, and you know, I've seen people who are happy as hell in a little 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom, and they got 5 kids.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The Jacksons.
Right. 21, was it 2100 or 2300? Yeah, 2100. 2100 Jackson Street. But, you know, there are some people who are content, and then there's somebody who literally is single, lives alone in like 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I would never.
A white refrigerator.
You know what I mean? A white refrigerator, girl. That's a little Nene Leakes for you if you want to know. A white refrigerator.
Oh.
So, another thing, and I'm skipping around on the affirmations here, but I release fear around money and embrace smart stewardship. You know, sometimes we have to stop doing dumb shit.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to start, you know, let me give you probably the best money lesson. And this isn't for everybody. Some people got this. Some people do not. There is a simple lesson, I think, that people get all messed up. It is the difference between having money and being able to afford something.
Right.
People think they are one and the same. So because you can reach in your pocket and buy an $800 coat does not mean you can afford an $800 coat. I could reach in my pocket and pay for an $1,800 coat, but my rent is $1,700 and I haven't paid it. And this was all the $1,800 was all the money I had. So it's a difference between having the money and being able to afford something.
Yeah.
And people don't always get that together in their
With the
minds.
two.
Right, yeah. So you have to practice smart stewardship. So if that purchase, that purse is cute. That, you know, shoe, baby, this foot is going to look good in it after the next pedicure. Whatever, right? But you have to ask yourself, can you afford a, you know, $500 purse? Can you afford a $400 shoe? Right?
Yeah.
So no, baby, you better get Sheen or I don't know all the things, but you know.
I don't know.
Right?
What'd you say, Jimmy? I'm not that type of gay.
No. Yeah,
I'm not one of those.
I've already told y'all. Listen, gays come in all varieties. I'm not the hair, makeup, fashion gay, you know. Now don't get me wrong. I can go in my closet and pull out some stuff. Now don't get it twisted. I just don't care. Just don't care, you know. So you have to know that difference because again, we have to practice smart stewardship. So you said that is a road you are improving on.
Yes.
What is stopping you from going all the way with the smart decisions, you know?
I just don't want to.
I just don't want to.
Now look,
I just don't want to.
Jordan, Jordan gonna be like, next time I want something, can you afford this bitch? Did Jimmy tell you afford
Jordan gonna get you
it?
together on this
right?
one.
Gonna get me all the way together. I'm gonna be like,
Yep.
damn, you right.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you right. You know what I mean? Just because you got it don't mean you should spend it.
Nope. Absolutely not. You know, you have to think about the big picture. And some people can't get out of the moment, right? You have to look at the big picture. You know, is this going to keep me from, because like I said, I've seen people who have spent their rent money on some stupid stuff or whatever. And it's like 2 and 2 wasn't making sense to you, huh?
Yeah, but going back to the little Kev analogy, that was me. My auntie always, I never had brand new clothes.
Yeah.
When my auntie raised me, we always shopped at the thrift store, or she gave me like her hand-me-downs. The first time I ever had like brand new clothes with like a tag and not like the thrift store staple little sticker thingy was my aunt in Milwaukee. Came to visit her. We went to the mall. It was the first time I ever had like brand new clothes out the store. I mean, as a baby, I probably don't remember that.
Right.
But, you know, I think it's a difference between being frugal, you know what I mean, and just being poor.
Yeah.
So, but we was a little of both, so.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
So
you
now
know?
I'd be like, oh, I want this, or let me empty my cart, or if I want to look nice, or if I do those things, you know.
Yeah.
But that plays back into that mentality, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that whole little Kev thing where something from your past is, you know, impacting behaviors 20, 30, and 40 years later. You
Right.
know. Now, I don't want people to be afraid to spend money and all of that either. So when we were doing the book and we were discussing, well, what sort of affirmations
Yeah.
do we want people to be able to claim and put into the universe and speak into existence? One of them that we came up with is, wealth is my birthright, and I claim it with confidence. You know, like, if you can be rich, why can't I be rich?
Right.
You know what I mean? So if it's good enough for this one over there, what's wrong with me doing it? So I don't limit myself, you know, when I know that there are people out there who have done well. You know, we look at Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. His booty hole points directly to the ground like mine does, you know. He has the same 24 hours in a day that I do. So I can't say, well, I can't make any more than 200,000 or whatever, because I know that there's somebody out there who made, you know, X billion, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to, you know, keep that mindset almost like there's no limits.
Yeah.
You know, I can get out there and do it.
You think like that, you know, you speak like that, and you begin to walk in that.
Yeah, and everybody has their own different paths. Everybody has their own goal, what they're looking to achieve. You know, for some people, the goal is to get a 2-bedroom house with with one bathroom. You know what I mean? And for somebody else, the goal is to have, you know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's mansion or whatever. So,
Right.
You know, so it's going to be different for everybody. But we want to release the fear around it, and then also take the limits off as well. So another thing in this particular chapter is what I was talking about earlier. I am building generational wealth and leaving a legacy of abundance. That's the other thing. What are you actually leaving to your children? You know, now that can be a wide, you know, we can look at that in a bunch of different ways. Some people are like, look, my money is my money. I didn't make it for them. So when they turn 18 and they go out into the world and do whatever they're going to do, they need to figure out what that is to sustain them, because I'm spending my last until, you know, the end or whatever. And then other people might be legacy builders, where they say, you know what, I want to build something that I can even pass on to my kid, or that my children can benefit from even after I'm gone or whatever. So, and sometimes, you know, we mistake the word legacy in that sense, and it's always about, passing on this business, this property, this whatever. Sometimes it's ideals too. So
Your
it could just
mentality,
be
yeah.
how you handle money, how you look at money, and that type of thing. So I would say don't discount those things as well.
Yeah.
So, how do you do you have a vision that includes, your children, or do you think you're just more focused on, achieving a certain level at this point that you don't have time to think about, what's going to come down the line 30 years? You're still focusing on what's happening in the next 2 to 5 years.
No, I sit back and I look at all the mistakes and all the things that I wasn't taught. And I'm right now setting
Yeah.
them up to where that won't be even a factor for them.
Gotcha.
They won't even think about that and be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like that's not even an obstacle for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just for example, I just put both my oldest boys on my credit card. You know what I mean? Just slowly building their credit and just teaching them little small things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And showing them that this is what I did wrong.
Yeah.
This is how you fix it, and so this is how I want you to keep going. And because my oldest was like, oh, I want to move out. When I get 18 to graduate, I want to move out and blah blah. Like, okay, whatever, calm down. You gonna sit here. Your credit gonna be good. You gonna have you a
Right.
good car you can get back and forth to work with. Then you can go out there and buy you something. If you don't want to buy you something, you can get your little condo if you don't want to buy a house.
Yeah.
But they don't think like that.
Yeah.
And to go back to what you said last time, they're a little soft. They
These
didn't.
kids ain't built the way
They ain't built the
we
way,
were.
right? So they don't. I know what it's like to sleep in my car. They don't.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean. So I'm more afraid of going back to that moment than. So I'm trying to teach them. I'm trying to show them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm definitely putting things into play and explaining to them like this is why it's important to have a 401k, and then you turn it over into a Roth, and
Yeah.
all of these little different things.
And those are conversations that I don't think are had enough, for one thing, and particularly in our community. But I hear a lot, about people say things like, see, that's what they really need to be teaching in school, or they need to show kids how to do taxes and so on and so forth, right? Here's the thing about school. First of all, that's not their job. That's not. We act like we drop our kids off at school, and then that teacher or those teachers are supposed to give them everything they're going to need in life. What? No. Believe it or not, you can still teach your child as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Because what the hell you here for?
Right, exactly. So it's not like, school let out at 3:30, that's the end of learning. No. So all of those things, like you said, teaching them about retirement, teaching them about credit and how to use it responsibly or whatever, those are conversations you can have with your child, whether it was taught in school or not.
Yeah.
I remember my mother, in preparation for me going out in life, she made me an authorized user on a couple of her credit cards, to help build
Your credit,
my credit score. I was explained how credit works. That little piece of plastic is not your little magic spell book that gives you access to whatever is in that store. How the amount of credit you have versus the available balance, and how you want to
usage.
keep that ratio at a certain space or whatever. All of those lessons, and how to do your own taxes or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And some people will say things like, well, I don't know, so I can't teach them, that. But the funny thing is, you ask Google everything else, and you find YouTube videos on how to do everything else.
Pick up a book.
Right. We got AI who can teach you how to build a damn house from the ground if
Yes.
you ask it in the right way, so... and tell you how to pay for it. We figure out how to get the information we want to get.
We do.
You know, when you say, you know, I want tickets for the Brandy tour with Monica opening up.
Shady boots.
Baby, they say them people walking out when when she finished her part of the show. So they say they don't want to stay for Monica's
For Monica.
3 songs. So and yes, I said 3
They're right. I
songs.
was gonna say 3.
No, Monica is a good singer. I ain't cleaning nothing up. If I was going, I'm coming from Brandy. So I'm just gonna tell the truth and shame the devil. You know. Never meant to go, you know, hey. And whatever. So, you know, but again, I think the gist of it is that, you know, we have an opportunity to teach our children as well.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not all on teachers. There are certain lessons in life that you can provide them or whatever. So
Right. And I don't know everything. So as I learn as I go, I teach them.
And if there's something you don't know, what do? Google
Ask.
it. You know, let me tell you, the guy I'm fooling with is the same way. It'd be like, damn, I got to put this engine in this car. I never did this model. Let me watch a YouTube video or whatever. Next thing you know, he putting that engine in somebody's car. And I'm using bad examples, although he does put engines in people's cars. But you know, but he will find a YouTube video that would guide him through anything.
Yeah.
So. You know,
You want it bad enough, you'll go get it.
the information is out here, you know. And same thing when we talk about, like you were saying, you know, you like a good trip, right? Hey, you figure out, you will research where you need to fly into. Now,
Yep.
think about the very first time you ever went out of the country or whatever. You had to
Call
know,
you.
right?
Shit. Jimmy.
But you got the information you needed,
Yes.
though, didn't you? Right. So, however you did it, you know, that's how, you know, have that same zeal about your finances or about
Yeah.
explaining to your children how this works or whatever. So,
What's that show that be on? Is it on Netflix or is it on Peacock? Like Love is Blind? Is it Love is Blind?
Love
yeah.
is Blind is one of them.
When they doing the
have
little
not-
pods and stuff, they have
Yes,
those
so they don't
conversations.
see- yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, where they don't see each other, they have those conversations about, you know, what religion are you? Are you family oriented? Finances, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So like everything else after that, like that's not even a factor no more. And I think that once we start raising our kids and you know teaching ourselves too, that it won't be as big of a problem.
Right. Yeah. So I think that brings us to the question of what happens when you have not achieved a level of financial stability that you would like, or state of wealth that you would like to be in, or whatever. Right. Well, then what do you need to do then to get there? How do you get to that next level? And again, we're talking about getting yourself together, improving
Right.
yourself, whether that is you planning on later being in a relationship or not. But how do you get there? So we kind of talk about that in the book, and like how do you hone skills that you already have? First of all, how do you eliminate debt that you know you've been holding on to or accumulating? But then also, how do you hone skills that you have to make money? So for instance, worst case scenario, if I ever got down on my luck, I could say something horrible right here. Be out here doing knuckle jobs in alleys, right? No. But what I was going to say is, okay, I can sing a little, right?
Yeah.
Baby, I can move back to Chicago, get a permit for singing on the CTA
Oh my goodness.
train lines or something. Baby, I'll be out there. I got nothing but love for you. No,
I know
whatever.
that's right.
So that is a skill that I could hone to take me further. Another thing, I'm a pretty strong writer.
Really
Very
strong.
strong. No. So how then do I hone that? Maybe we can write a book or 3.
Or series.
Right. Yes. so that's something to think about too, to get you to the next level, because maybe you work 40 hours at your job and they don't offer overtime. So there's no way to make more money there. Sometimes though, like if your job offers overtime, Do you even want to sign up for it? You want the extra money, but you don't want to do the extra work.
time, right?
You know, and then, like I said, if you have other skills, can you do hair? Can you do makeup? Can you sew? Can you whatever? You know, what skills do you have that you can hone and move on? And then on top of that, we were talking about this AI generation we live
Yes.
in. You know, hey,
Sit up, Jimmy, because they
sit
don't hear
up.
you.
let me sit up on this part. While y'all out here using AI to take your picture and say, "Oh, I wonder what it'll look like if I was on a beach." Bitch, you could be at the beach.
Exactly.
You know, so what? How about we use AI to its better potential? How about you speak into it, because you ain't even typing in it half the time. How about you speak into it? Hey, I'm looking to make an extra $30,000 in 6 months. These are my skills. Tell me how I can use that skill to blah, blah, blah. And then be specific about what it is that you need and fill it all in there. AI will probably give you a full plan on how to achieve what it is that you're looking to do.
And then it'll be like, would you like me to show you the websites, or would you like me to
Right,
print out?
you know, it'll give you even
yes.
more. Yeah, but no, your ass is over here trying to figure out what you look like in a blue dress instead of what, like, girl, if you don't, you know.
If you don't really use this and get your money up,
Even though I did make a man in here. Where let me go find
where your
my
man
man.
at?
Baby, I made this man so good.
You gonna have to
I
fold
said,
down the little paper
right.
so you can get back to
can't
him
find
every time.
I just saw a picture of you though in there. It's a pretty picture of Holly in
Thank
there.
you.
And Jordan, if you want. Hey, you know, we always talk about Jordan on here. If
Oh, yeah.
If you buy the book, I'm not even gonna show it on the camera here on
Yeah.
YouTube. But if you buy the book, you get to see Jordan, y'all. Because
Sure do.
Jordan hides off way over there.
Oh, there you
there
go.
go my man.
There you
There
go,
go my
man.
man. So we need to name this bastard. But did we not create perfection over him?
I'm trying to tell you.
He could get it. He could get it.
I
Whatever
don't
he
have no
wants, he
comment.
can get it.
I
So,
love that for you.
Yeah. So, well, you can't come in because your husband's sitting over
That's
there.
why I said I love that for
The
you.
one that you can see in the book if you go to Amazon and get it, right?
Yes. Speak life and live full.
Speak life and live full. What were we talking about when we got this show? Oh, honing skills in order to make extra money. So that is
Yeah.
one of the things that we talk about in here as well. Like what skills? Like I said, you need to figure out what you can do, and if you need to, use AI to help you get there, then by all means, use AI to help you get there. So at some point we get stuck, and we need a way out. So the financial stability chapter, I think, is going to be big for a lot of people. If you
Yeah.
actually, when it comes to anything like this, a guided journal where it's saying, hey, think about this and talk about it, or list out
Right.
your plan for doing this or whatever. This is one of those things where you can't go wrong if you do the work. So it's laying out kind of what it is that you need to get to the bottom of, the root of, then some specific things, what debt do I need to get rid of in order to do it?
Yeah.
How do I get rid of that debt? So same thing. So, and do whatever research you need to do or whatever. But if you eliminate debt, if you start to add money in based on skills that you have, and so on. And then how do you even feel when you talk about money? Or, are you embarrassed? How do you see yourself with money? All of those things are kind of important to explore.
Yeah.
So you need a book like this that kind of gets you there. So once you get to the soul work, the journal reflections, then we always end with, kind of what I should walk away with. And when it comes down to financial stability, it says if money is like water, it should flow to you and through you with ease. Not just flow to you and through you, but with ease, right? It should not act like a blocked faucet. These affirmations shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, helping you claim your right to financial literacy, meaning knowing more about credit, retirement, wealth building, all of those things. Prosperity, that's where that abundance is. You can make enough money to maintain. Prosperity is taking it a step further, and now you're thriving and you got extra. You know what I
What?
mean?
You ain't never had no extra.
You got extra, right? And then peace of mind around your I said coins in there. I think on that part that was clearly me on that part. But so peace of mind where you're not, because on one extreme there is wealth, and on the other extreme there is worrying about money. So just
Yeah.
having some peace of mind, knowing that security of knowing that my bills are paid or are gonna be paid, and that's not even a worry.
Exactly.
How much money do you actually have saved up? My mother, oh my God rest her soul,
Yes.
would always say, now you need to have at least 6 months worth of salary just in case you lose your job or this happens or whatever. Now don't get caught without having at least 6 months worth of, whatever. And for the record, by the way, I have not worked since July of last year. Okay.
Clock it.
And have not changed my lifestyle one bit. In fact, upgraded it. So,
right.
I mean, it is, and that's not me bragging or anything like that. I'm just saying,
You
like,
giving yourself them affirmations.
there you go. That part. So, I'm trying to share with you what helped me. How about that? So,
You speaking life and living full.
that's right. And where can they get that, girl?
Amazon.
All right, now. So, but I won't belabor this too much. Whether we look at this in terms of a relationship thing or preparation for a relationship or just for your life in general, financial stability is a big one. That's an important one, So, any other thoughts, Holly, before we get on up out of here?
No, I don't go broke trying to help others. But like you said too.
All right. Now, that might be a struggle I've always had. I kind of overhelp people.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes a lot of times I would put others ahead of me. I am so much better now. My no game is strong. Like, listen, and then
Show me how you do it, Jimmy. How you be like?
And no, but you have to understand that you can say no without needing a lot of explanation and all of that stuff. The other thing is with helping people, you trust me, from somebody who knows, somebody who has supported people to no ends, right? You can become somebody's crutch as well, and you can be inhibiting their growth.
Right.
So some things, and this is another problem when I talk about this generation that came behind us, baby. Sometimes you got to struggle and figure out how to fight out of that struggle.
So you got to appreciate
in order to, right, yes.
Because these kids don't appreciate shit.
These parents who are the helicopter moms and dads, the ones who fight all their kids' battles for them.
Yeah.
Well, you never give them the benefit of learning themselves.
To fall down and pick themselves back up.
You fight all the battles for them, so they never had to struggle. So when they turn 21 and the simplest damn problem in life arises, baby, they're paralyzed.
Having a whole mental breakdown.
Mental breakdown. Now they done got diagnosed with 10 different things.
Right.
Yeah. So we have to make sure that we give them the opportunity to
Being mindful.
figure it out for themselves sometimes as well. We are there to guide. We have a parenting chapter in here that's pretty neat too. So we guide with grace, but and lead with love. But that does not mean we fight all their battles for them. So, but that's all I got, Holly. I'm so glad you joined me as usual.
you.
So we're going to get on up out of here like my mama just did.
Jimmy.
So, what?
Oh
Too
my
soon?
God. Yes.
Is it too soon? Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, rest.
They think like, all right
dedicating
now,
this-
Jimmy.
All right now.
Jimmy.
That's right. That's exactly how she was saying. All right, everybody. We thank you guys for tuning in as always. And we've mentioned it several times. If you haven't already, get the book Speak Life and Live Full, our affirmations and soul work for leveling up in life.
Yes.
And when we say soul work, we're just talking about a little bit of journal work. So beautiful book with lots of beautiful artwork in there, some culturally affirming artwork all throughout. So check it out. It's available on Amazon in both hardcover and paperback. All right, let's get on up out of here now. I'm not going to say the last part.
Till next time.
Till next time. All right, take it easy.
Don't forget to subscribe.
I see you hanging around, but I don't have much to say to you. Don't know what you're waiting for. Guess you think I'm playing with you. Ever since you walked out my door, I changed the locks on me. There ain't nobody getting me. I'm doing fine by myself, and I like it. I've been doing things by myself. You should try it. When we was together, how did you have me gone? Now I'm by myself, and it feels good to be alone. Come on. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. I kinda like myself. Don't wanna be with you, but I'm gonna be okay. I kinda like myself. I kinda like myself. I guess you thought that I was gonna be.